While it's true that finances shouldn't sit at the top of our priorities, we must recognize that money plays a significant role in our lives. It's essential to view money for what it truly is, a powerful tool. As my dear friend Zig Ziglar wisely said, money isn't everything, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. This quote reminds us that while the pursuit of wealth shouldn't consume us, understanding how to wield money effectively can unlock countless opportunities and enhance our quality of life. Learning to use money wisely can serve us rather than bind us, empowering us to achieve our dreams and positively impact those around us. As entrepreneurs, we all understand the undeniable value of having money, yet history is replete with stories of individuals who launched successful enterprises without a dime to their name. So how did they achieve such remarkable feats? I believe 9 invaluable elements can pave your path to success, elements far more crucial than capital. First and foremost is time, that precious commodity we must treasure and invest wisely. Time set aside for productive endeavors can yield immense returns, while time wasted can lead to devastating consequences. Next comes desperation, a powerful catalyst for action. Take my friend Bill Bailey, who started as a night janitor, but rose to greatness through sheer necessity and determination. Desperation can compel you to work tirelessly toward your goals, just as Lydia, another friend of mine, did when she invested her last dollar in a venture to provide for her children. Determination is the backbone of success. When Lydia resolved to find her first customer, her unwavering spirit led her to triumph. Then there's courage. If you possess $1 and the bravery to pursue your dreams, you're already on the path to greatness. Alongside courage, ambition fuels your journey. As Lydia made her initial sales, her ambitions soared, transforming her aspirations into reality. Faith, too, is an invaluable asset. When you believe in your product, your company, and yourself, you unlock a level of confidence that money alone cannot buy. Ingenuity is the next critical factor. Harnessing the full potential of your intellect can lead to extraordinary innovations and solutions. Heart and soul, those intangible qualities that inspire and move people, are irreplaceable. Without them, money becomes meaningless. Finally, personality is essential. As my mentor Bill Bailey advised, be comfortable in any setting and with anyone, for your ability to connect is priceless. With just $1 and these 9 principles in your arsenal, the world is yours to shape. This is the capital that transcends mere money, equipping you to secure your future and forge your fortune. Remember, the resources you need are always within your reach. It's all about how you choose to use them. Money is a powerful tool, one that can bring immense joy and fulfillment to our lives when used wisely, or wreak havoc and destruction if mismanaged. It's crucial to recognize both the incredible opportunities and the potential pitfalls that money presents. Throughout history, some of the most remarkable achievements have been made possible by financial resources. Businesses have flourished, schools have been established, and philanthropic charities have emerged, all of which have made a significant positive impact on society. However, we must also acknowledge the darker side of money. Relationships have been shattered, unethical gains have tainted integrity, and lives have been irrevocably damaged, all in the name of financial pursuit. As we navigate our journey with money, we must strive to harness its power for good, understanding that while it can facilitate extraordinary accomplishments, it can just as easily lead to regret and sorrow if wielded carelessly. The choice is ours. Will we use this tool to build a legacy of joy and generosity, or will we allow it to lead us down a path of destruction? Today, I want to explore some fundamental financial principles and the philosophies that empower good people to achieve great things. It's essential to recognize money for what it truly is, a tool that can enhance our lives and the lives of others. As my good friend John Wesley wisely stated, earn all you can, save all you can, and give all you can. When we understand that money can be a powerful force for good, we naturally gravitate toward maintaining balance in our lives by focusing on these 3 crucial actions: earning, saving, and giving. Let's break that down further. Earning is about recognizing your value and finding ways to increase it. It's about not settling for mediocrity. You must be willing to learn, grow, and take risks. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. This means that every dollar you earn is a reflection of your efforts, skills, and dedication. It's the first step in creating the life you want. Next comes saving. Saving is like planting seeds for your future. It requires discipline and a commitment to setting aside a portion of your earnings. When you save, you create a safety net for yourself, a cushion that provides security and opens up opportunities for future investments. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. By saving consistently, you build wealth over time, allowing your money to work for you instead of the other way around. Then we have giving, which is often overlooked, but incredibly important. Giving is not just about donating money, it's about contributing to something greater than yourself. It's about sharing your resources, time, and talents with others. The more you give, the more you receive. When you give, you create a positive ripple effect in your community and your life. It fosters gratitude, strengthens relationships, and reminds us of the interconnectedness of our lives. However, we must also remain vigilant against the seductive nature of money, which can mislead us into believing it will solve all our problems. Yes, having money, abundant money, is fantastic, but only if we maintain balance and perspective. Money won't make you happy, but it can make you comfortable while you're being miserable. We must control our money instead of allowing it to control us. The first step in ensuring money doesn't take charge of our lives is to confront the issue of debt. Today, many Americans and individuals around the globe find themselves weighed down by unprecedented levels of debt. It's crucial to remember the old saying, "The borrower is the servant to the lender." When we owe money, we lose a degree of our freedom, becoming responsible to someone else. This isn't the path to financial independence. Instead, it places us in a position of servitude that limits our choices and actions. Interestingly, many otherwise intelligent individuals struggle to grasp the significance of debt and its implications. To help you navigate this landscape, here are 5 key insights you need to embrace to pave your way to financial freedom. 1. Develop the right mindset. When it comes to debt, we must adopt a mindset of ruthless opposition. We need to view debt as the enemy of our financial health. If we start to think, well, a little debt here and maybe a little debt there, we are setting ourselves up for trouble. Just like money can multiply positively through saving and investing, debt can also compound negatively, dragging us deeper into financial chaos as each month goes by. The right mindset is clear. We must get out of debt and stay out of debt. Ask yourself, is this your mindset? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that debt is a normal part of life, especially if that's what we've seen growing up or what our peers accept. However, it's crucial to recognize that we have the power to change our thinking. Take a moment to reflect on your relationship with debt. Have you considered how your upbringing or current associations shape your perspective? If you grew up in an environment where debt was common, it may take a conscious effort to shift that mindset. Embrace the belief that living debt-free is not only possible but essential for your financial freedom. Remember, your life is a reflection of your thoughts. Make sure they are focused on growth and abundance. By committing to a mindset of opposition to debt, you set the foundation for a brighter financial future. 2. Gain more understanding. Many people are unaware of how much debt they truly carry. Some don't even know if they have a positive or negative net worth. The truth is, you can't effectively plan your financial future if you don't understand your current situation. Let's think of it this way. If you wanted to visit a friend and needed directions to their house, the first thing they would ask is where you're starting from. Typically, you would provide your town or address, allowing your friend to give you precise directions. Now imagine if you said, "I don't know where I am." Your friend would be at a loss, unable to guide you north or south, east or west. The same principle applies to your financial health. If you aspire to save $1 million, your strategy will differ dramatically depending on whether you have $750,000 already saved or $100,000 in consumer debt. To chart a successful course toward your financial goals, it's essential to first assess your current position. Take a close look at your finances and get a clear understanding of where you stand. In this case, the old saying, "Knowledge is power," rings true. There is incredible power in knowing your financial position as it equips you to create a roadmap for your future. Without this knowledge, you're simply navigating in the dark, unsure of where you're heading. So take the time to understand your financial landscape. Only then can you confidently map out your journey to financial freedom. 3. To seek help. When you're feeling unwell, you visit a doctor. When you want to improve your skills in a sport, you hire a coach. Similarly, when you find yourself in debt, it's essential to seek help. The type of assistance you need will vary based on the amount of debt you're facing. For instance, if you have between $2,000 and $5,000 in credit card debt, you might just need a friend to hold you accountable for your monthly spending. This kind of support can help you stay on track and make better financial decisions. However, if you're dealing with a much larger burden, say $50,000 in credit card debt, it's time to bring in the professionals. In this case, a financial advisor can provide valuable guidance and help you negotiate with your creditors. Don't let pride stand in your way. We all face challenges at times, and wise individuals recognize when it's time to ask for assistance. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If you have debt and feel overwhelmed by it, don't hesitate to reach out for support. Your future depends on taking these steps now. As I often say, the more you learn, the more you earn. By surrounding yourself with knowledgeable individuals who can guide you, you're setting yourself up for a brighter financial future. 4. Get control. Let's take a moment to reflect on the concept of debt, particularly the act of going into debt to purchase something you desire but can't afford right now. You might not put it into these exact words, but essentially you are saying, I don't have the money for this, but I want it so badly that I can't wait any longer. Not only that, but I'm willing to pay an extra 10 to 20% for it. That extra cost represents the typical annual percentage rate on a credit card, which only adds to the burden of your financial decision. This situation ultimately boils down to control. Can you manage your impulses? More importantly, will you take charge of your urges? Will you make the conscious decision to control your spending habits? Taking control of your financial life means accepting responsibility for your actions. It means saying to yourself, I will no longer buy on credit and dig myself deeper into debt. And when you commit to this mindset, you're not just making a temporary change, you're taking the first step towards securing your financial future. Remember, you must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. By mastering your desires and resisting the urge to purchase on credit, you empower yourself to create a more stable and prosperous life. 5. Create a plan. To escape the clutches of debt, you need a solid plan. This plan should be simple, effective, and tailored to your unique circumstances. While there are fundamental principles you can follow, everyone has different incomes, levels of debt, and life situations. For example, a 50-year-old couple earning $125,000 with $50,000 in debt will require a different approach than a 25-year-old single man earning $30,000 with $10,000 in debt. The key here is to develop a plan that fits your life. Once you have that plan, commit to executing it with all the discipline you can muster. Your plan should include detailed strategies for spending, increasing your income, saving, and investing. I still remember the day I confided in my mentor, Mr. Schoff, saying, "If I had more money, I would have a better plan." He wisely replied, "No, I would suggest that if you had a better plan, you would have more money." This was a turning point for me. It's not about how much money you have, it's about having a well-thought-out plan to manage it. As the old saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. This couldn't be more accurate. A solid plan lays the foundation for your financial success. So take the time to craft your strategy and don't hesitate to revisit and adjust it as needed. With a plan in place and the determination to follow through, you can turn your financial situation around and build a brighter future. Here are a few additional basics for your get-out-of-debt plan. Track your spending. Write down everything you spend. Whether you use a ledger, a journal, or a simple notepad, it's crucial to document every transaction. This practice creates awareness and forces you to reconsider each financial decision, adding an element of accountability to your spending habits. Pay off credit card balances. For all future credit card charges, make it a rule to pay off the full balance of the previous month's expenditures, no exceptions. This approach will prevent you from accumulating new interest. If you can't manage this right away, set it as a goal to achieve as soon as possible. Consistency here will pay off in the long run. Focus on high-interest debt. Determine how much extra money you can allocate to your debt each month and funnel it all toward your highest interest debts. This strategy accelerates your path to financial freedom by reducing the overall interest you'll pay over time. Your financial future can be incredible. It can be anything you want it to be. Part of the legacy you can leave behind is achieving financial independence. However, this journey will require deep soul-searching and tough decisions to clarify what you truly want from life. One of the first issues you must confront is debt. If you're debt-free, that's fantastic. Celebrate that achievement. But if you do have debt, don't despair. Life isn't over for you. You can still achieve whatever you desire. The key lies in your commitment to shift your priorities and make the necessary changes. Remember, your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Take control of your finances and watch as your dreams begin to take shape. In conclusion, the journey to financial freedom begins with awareness and a commitment to change. By developing the right mindset, gaining a deeper understanding of your financial situation, seeking help when needed, gaining control over your spending habits, and creating a solid plan, you can conquer debt and pave the way for a brighter future. Remember, your financial journey is not just about the numbers, it's about the life you want to create. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. As you reflect on your financial landscape, think about the legacy you want to leave behind. Will it be one of struggle and debt, or will it be one of strength and independence? The choice is yours. Embrace the challenges, make the tough decisions, and prioritize your financial well-being. As you do so, you'll discover that financial independence is not just a dream, it's an achievable reality. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. So start today, take control, make your plan, and watch as you transform your financial future into one filled with possibility and promise.
Now jot down these 5 key ideas. Here's number 1. Work on your personal philosophy. The first thing you start changing is what? Your philosophy. You start changing your mind. You start changing how you think. You start picking up new ideas and information, gather new knowledge, make better decisions about what's valuable. And I'm telling you, if you'll do that, your whole life will change. Your health will change. Your relationship with your family will change. Your ability to cope with challenges and problems will change. I'm telling you, income, promotions, all of it will change. If you will change, it'll all change. If you won't change, it isn't going to change. You can keep your fingers crossed if you want to and hope they'll straighten it out. You can wish for the wind not to blow quite as severe. But I'm telling you, wishing for the wind to change in your favor, we call naive at best. Don't do this any longer. Don't wish for a better wind. The key is to wish for the wisdom to set a better sail. Utilize whatever wind that blows to take you wherever you want to go. That is the philosophy I picked up at age 25, and it revolutionized my whole life. My mentor, Mr. Rohn, you've been working 6 years. How are you doing? I said, not very well. He said, I suggest you not do that anymore. He said, couldn't we go over the last 6 years and find out where your errors and judgment were? And couldn't we correct those and invest that correction in the next 6 years? I said, I guess we could. Only humans can do this. See, if you were a tree, you'd be stuck, right? If you used up all the nourishment around, you couldn't move, then you would die. But that's not true. So however little, what much you want to change, that's up to you. But see, if there's a class and you don't take it, and a skill and you don't learn it, and a discipline and you don't try it, and if there's a possibility and you don't explore it, then who are we going to blame? Nobody but yourself. You know, we put some of the valuable things on the high shelf, so you can't get to until you qualify. If you want the things on the higher shelf, you've got to stand on the books you read. Every book you read, you get to stand a little higher so you can get the things on the higher shelf. Become a good reader. All of the successful people I know and work with around the world, they're all good readers. Curiosity drives them to read. They got to know. They just read. Read. Did you know there's books on how to be stronger, more decisive, be a speaker, be a leader, have a better effect on other people, develop your personality? Did you know there's books on that and people don't read them? How would you explain that? And they can read. Did you know that hundreds of successful people have written their stories in books and they wrote down how they did it and people don't read? How would you explain that? The guy's busy, I guess. You know, you get tied up. The guy says, well, if you work where I work, by the time you struggle home, it's late. You got to eat by the supper, watch a little TV, get to bed. You can't sit up half the night reading. And the guy's behind on his car payment. Good worker, hard worker, sincere. But you got to be better than sincere and work hard. Otherwise, at the end of your life, you'll wind up cold, stony broke. You got to be better than a good worker. You got to be a good reader. Now, you don't have to read or listen to educational cassettes half the night, although if you're broke, it's a good place to start. But here's all I ask. Just 30 minutes a day, that's all. Stretch it to an hour if you can, but at least 30 minutes here or read something challenging, something instructional. At least 30 minutes a day. And here's the next key. Every day, don't miss. Miss a meal, but not your 30 minutes. Hey, you can get along without some meals, but you can't get along without some ideas, examples, and inspiration. And also remember, to properly feed the mind, you must have good balance. Don't just read or listen to the easy stuff. You can't live on mental candy. Mr. Schoaf got me started on my library when I first met him. He said to me, become self-educated. Standard education will get you standard results. Check those numbers and see if that's what you want, and if it isn't. If you want something better than standard, you must become self-educated. Schoaf recommended a couple of books in particular to get me started. Now I had a Bible that's 66 books, so that was a pretty good start. But the first book Mr. Schoaf told me to get was the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, if you don't already have it. It's a great one to add to your library. I read it several dozen times, Schoaf said. Repetition is the mother of skill. And if you could have seen my bank account at the time, you would have known I needed lots of that kind of repetition. Some of the ideas in that book made major changes in my life. As I look back now, the book was worth thousands and I bought it for pennies. I learned a very valuable lesson. There can be a great deal of difference between cost and value. Before I met Mr. Schoaf, I used to ask, how much does it cost? After I met him, however, I soon learned to ask, how much is it worth? I started basing my life on worth instead of cost, and everything changed. Here's the next one, attitude. It is our attitude toward life which will determine life's attitude toward us. Now let's talk about the attitudes of people who are successful. Successful people come in all shapes and sizes and in widely varying degrees of intelligence, background, and so on. But they all have one thing in common. They expect more good out of life than bad. They expect to succeed more than they fail. If you want something worthwhile, take the attitude that there are a lot more reasons why you can have it than there are that you cannot, and set out to earn it. Go after it, work at it, ask for it, and 9 times out of 10 you will get it. Now let me tell you of a little test you can make which will prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that a good attitude can change a person's life as dramatically as walking from a darkened room into the bright, clear light of day. So here's the test. For the next 30 days, act toward the world, everything, and everyone with whom you come in contact with the attitude which represents the kind of results you want to achieve. That is, if the result you want is more success in what you're doing. Act as though you're already in possession of the success you seek. If you wanted others to treat you with admiration and respect, treat others with admiration and respect first. Have you ever stopped to think of this? Every human being on earth is the most important human being on earth, as far as he or she is concerned. You may never get anyone to admit it, but it's a fact. So for the next 30 days, treat every person with whom you come in contact as the most important person on earth, remembering as you do so that as far as that person is concerned, reason I say treat everyone in this fashion is mainly because this is the way human beings ought to treat each other, and because it will help you form a habit that will bring you amazing and delightful results for the rest of your life. Have you ever noticed that the higher you go in any organization of value, the nicer the people seem to become? You see, the bigger the person, the easier it is to talk to him, to get along with him, to do business with him. Do you know why? It's because he's got a good attitude, and people with the best attitudes just naturally gravitate toward the top. So for 30 days, act toward others in the world at large in exactly the same manner you want the world and others to act toward you. Treat your wife or husband as the person he or she really is, the most important person in your life. The same with the children. They carry out into the world each morning for 30 days the kind of attitude you would have if you were the most successful human being on earth. And notice how it quickly develops into an habitual attitude. When a person does this, he should realize he has already placed himself on the road to what he seeks. He is right now in the top 5 of the people in this or any other country. He has prepared the ground and planted the seed. He has made of himself a magnet, an embodiment of that which he seeks. Before metal can be cast into a desired shape, the mold, the expectant receptacle, must first be fashioned. Before a building can be erected, the excavation must be made and the foundation laid. And before a person can achieve the kind of life he wants, he must become that kind of individual. He must think, act, talk, walk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs as would the person he wishes to become. He is then actually that person, and the things that person would have and do will naturally come to him almost immediately. A change will be noticed. Irritations that used to frustrate and annoy disappear when some less informed individual gives you a bad time. Stay on the track. When someone cuts in front of you with his car or acts in any other manner that shows his ignorance and lack of courtesy, don't permit yourself to drop to his level. Pity him, for that's what he really deserves. That's the very group a person doesn't want to belong to, and if he acts like them, well, let's face it, he belongs with him. There's nothing in the world that men, women, and children want and need more than the feeling that they're important, that they're needed and respected. They will give their love, their affection, their respect, and their business to the person who fills this need. So the magic word is attitude, and in summing up a few points to keep in mind one. It is our attitude at the beginning of a task which more than anything else will affect its successful outcome. Next, it is impossible to succeed without others, and it is our attitude toward others which will determine their attitude toward us. Before a person can achieve the kind of life he wants, he must become that kind of individual. He must think, act, talk, walk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs as would the person he wishes to become. 5, the higher you go in any organization of value, the better will be the attitudes you'll find. 6, your mind can hold only one thought at a time. And since there's nothing at all to be gained by being negative, be positive. The deepest craving of human beings is to be needed, to feel important, to be appreciated. Give it to them and they'll return it to you. 8, look for the best and new ideas. As someone said, I've never met a person I couldn't learn something from. 9, don't waste valuable time broadcasting personal problems. It probably won't help you. It cannot help others. 10, don't talk about your health unless it's good. 11, radiate the attitude of well-being, of confidence, of a person who knows where he's going. This will inspire those around you, and you'll find good things will begin happening to you. Now here's the third of the 5 ideas, 3, and it's called lifestyle. Because the essence of life is not a Ferrari or a bank account. It's not $1 million. Here's the essence of life, learning to live a good life. Don't just learn how to earn, learn how to live. Mr. Shoaff taught me lifestyle in those early days, starting with small amounts, he said. Imagine that you're getting your shoes shined and the shoe sheen boy has done a fabulous job. So you pay him for the shine. Now you consider from the change in your hand what kind of tip to give him, and the question pops into your mind. Shall I give him 1 quarter or 2 quarters for my neat shine? Mr. Shoaff said, if 2 amounts for a tip ever come to your mind, always go for the higher amount. I said, what difference would that make, 1 quarter or 2 quarters? He said, all the difference in the world. If you said, well, I'll just give him 1 quarter, that will affect you for the rest of the day. You will start feeling bad. Sure enough, in the middle of the day, you will look down at your great shoe shine and say, I've got to be cheap 1 lousy quarter. That will affect you. However, if you go for 2 quarters, Shoaff said, You can't believe the feeling you can buy for another quarter. That's lifestyle. So develop your lifestyle a little more, your style of seeing, giving, sharing, enjoy. It's not the amount that counts, but the experience of individual live with. Style. I remember saying to Mr. Showoff one time, if I had more money, I would be happy. And he gave me some of the better words of wisdom when he said to me, Mr. Rohn, the key to happiness is not more. Happiness is an art to be studied and practiced. He said more money will only make you more of what you already are. If you're inclined to be unhappy, if you get a lot of money, you will be miserable. More money will only make you more. More money will only amplify. If you are inclined to be mean and you get a lot of money, you will be a terror if you are inclined to drink a little too much. When you get a lot of money, you can now become a drunk because you can drink everything. So, style is not more. Style is an art. Here's something else to think about. Did you ever hear where the expression tip came from? As in tipping the waiter or waitress in a restaurant, Mr. Showoff taught me that it began as a symbol for the phrase to ensure promptness. Now, Showoff said, if a tip is to ensure promptness, when should you give it answer up front? See, I didn't know that. I said, no, you have lunch, and if you get good service, you leave a good tip. If you get lousy service, no tip. And he said to me, no, Mr. Rohn. Sophisticated people don't take a chance on good service. They ensure good service by giving the money up front. I said, wow, what a way to live. I had never thought of that. So the next time you have someone special to take to lunch, call the waitress over, arm around the shoulders, and say, here's $5. Would you take good care of me and my friend? Showoff said you won't believe what happens. They do what's known as hover. They hover around your table, same money, different style. The next one is activity. Now here's an important question. What is your philosophy about activity? What about hard work? What about long hours? What about full days? If you're doing something, how hard should you go at it? How much time should you put in? Everybody has to develop their philosophy about activity, because your philosophy of activity will affect the rest of your life. Not to think so is naive. I've got a good clue on rest. Make rest a necessity, not an objective. If you rest too long, the weeds take the garden in the summer, so you can't rest too long. Life doesn't stand still, and the thread of life will start overwhelming the values of life if you just let it go. So we've all got to have a philosophy about activity. Let me give you one of the best I know. Here's what it says. An ancient phrase says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. That's a philosophy. You say, well, I'm getting by with half my might. Well, okay, but you've got to decide on your own personal philosophy of activity. Now, this philosophy says do it with all your might. Do you think there's any value or virtue in that? Well, I don't know. You've got to decide. You've got to weigh this out. You've got to evaluate it for yourself and put it on your own mental scales, and you've got to come up with your own answers. How hard should you work? I'm teaching kids now the ant philosophy. An ancient story says everybody should study ants, especially lazy people. The ant philosophy. Let me give it to you. It's very brief. Ants never quit good philosophy. If they're headed somewhere, you try to stop them. They'll look for another way. They'll climb over. They'll climb under. They'll climb around. They keep looking for another way. What a neat philosophy. Never quit looking for a way to get where you're supposed to go to. Ants think winter all summer. That's an important philosophy. You can't be so naive as to think summer. All summer. You say, well, isn't it nice? You can't think nice. When it's nice, we will call you naive. You got to think rock. You can't think sand and sun. 3 cents summer all winter. That's so important, I'm sure. All winter long and say this won't last long. We'll soon be out here. What a neat philosophy. What a neat attitude. This won't last long. We'll soon be out of here. First warm day, the ants are out. First warm day, they're out. They can't wait to get out. What a neat philosophy. Can't wait to get at it. We teach in leadership skills. Average people look forward to getting off. Successful people look forward to getting on with it. The guy doesn't want off. He wants on. And that's what starts to transform his life into the doing, into the activity. Now here's the last of the ant philosophy. How much will an ant gather during the summer to prepare for the winter? answer all he possibly can. What an incredible philosophy. A group of psychiatrists invited me to come and lecture in Los Angeles. I never graduated from college, but they wanted to hear my story. So I go talk to the psychiatrist. Then in the middle of my talk, I had the audacity to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what I think. Most messes with the mind," they said. "I think it is simply doing less than you can messes with the mind. It causes all kinds of psychic damage, I think, simply being less than you can be. Doing less than you could do. Trying less than you could. Try doing it with less enthusiasm than you could. I think it somehow damages the mind. It damages our self-image. Because here's what I've discovered happens. The minute you turn this around and start extending yourself, it isn't the value you get from extending yourself that's the greatest value. It's how you feel about yourself that's the greatest value. Because, see, it's not what we get that makes us valuable. It's what we become. And part of becoming is to see what all you can become. See what all you can do. See how much you can earn, how much you can share, how much you can start, how far you can reach, how far you can extend your influence. If you're going to play the great drama game of life, the key is to keep measuring progress to see how you're doing. How's your health doing? How's your income doing? How are your investments doing? If you're building a house, how is it coming along? What's going on? Measuring progress. That's what we call the name of the game. Here's how we teach it to our children. You must make measurable progress in reasonable time. We must be reasonable with time. You can't say to someone every 5 minutes, "How are you doing now?" 5 minutes later, "How are you doing now?" This guy says, "I haven't left the building yet. Give me a break." So 5 minutes to ask for a count or a measures is too soon. 5 years is too long, too late. Too many things can go wrong. The old prophet said, if you're angry, try to solve it before the sun goes down. Don't carry it over for another day. Tomorrow it might be too heavy to carry a conversation a father should have with his daughter today because the magic is there. If you wait till tomorrow, the magic could be gone. Success is a numbers game. How many years do you want your child to spend in 4th grade? About what, 1 year? Progress 1 grade, 1 year, and you got to set up your own measuring system. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You set it up because society doesn't require you not have a heart attack that you must require of yourself. Society doesn't demand that you build a financial wall around your family. Nothing can get through that you must demand of yourself. So the government's not there to measure. Society is not there to measure. You must be responsible enough to measure yourself. How are you coming on this financial wall around your family? Nothing can get through. How are you doing? And whether it's a few pounds to lose or whether it's a financial wall, or whether it's a growing office, whatever it is, find some ways to measure so you don't become disillusioned, thinking, "Oh, it looks okay," when it really isn't okay. Measure, check, measure, check. It's the game to play.